Sometimes you feel like everything is wrong and the world is leaving you behind. Sometimes you feel like there's nowhere you can go to just sit for a while and unwind. Well, my friend, I've got some news for you and probably a few game reviews, so sit back and open up your ears, 'cause there's a real good place for you. Just sit back and take off your shoes. The best place to chill is right here. We've got gaming news aplenty, and Norgoz will offend the whole globe at some point, I'm sure. Highsight's playing indie games, Naki's got some shit to say, and Phyrus, he's a scholar of our time. Damien might play guitar, Cage might not get too far into talking before someone cuts him off. But hey, my friend, it's all for fun. Just lay back when the day is done and listen to the show we've got for you. Tonight at the Heroes Hideout, whether live or recorded. Tonight at the Heroes Hideout, we've got all of the shit sorted. Tonight at the Heroes Hideout, it's good for your ear holes. Tonight at the Heroes Hideout, sit and listen to some
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Nakiato here, and welcome to episode 24 of the Heroes Hideout Gaming Podcast, where we talk about news and all of that jazz. This week I'm joined by Phyrus, Norgoz, which he's been gone for fucking ever, and we also have KageUta, and the lyrical mastermind behind our new intro, Damien. Go ahead and introduce yourselves, you fine folks.
Hi folks, I'm Phyrus. I've been here for a couple weeks in a row now, so that's amazing. Who knows when that streak's going to break? Maybe shortly, we'll find out. Welcome back, Norgoz. This week I've been doing pretty much the same thing I've been doing. I've been sucked into Skyforge. I've been working on a knight this week, which is the other tank class. It's kind of interesting to play as the knight compared to the paladin, where the paladin is pretty much the stereotypical tank class in pretty much any MMO, where you just try to absorb all the damage and use shields and stuff. The knight class, you actually want to take as much damage as you possibly can because it reflects back at the enemies around you. So it's interesting that this game has made these decisions. Like, for one, there's no healers in the game, and for two, one of the tank classes, your job is to stand in the fire, which I've learned over the past 10 years, don't stand in the fire. But this is your job now, to stand in the fire. So it's interesting working on that. Other than that, I've been busy with school, so I haven't been playing a whole lot or doing anything on the YouTubes as much. But my next guide is going to be a discussion piece between the differences between the tanks. So if you're one of my YouTube followers, keep your eyes open for that. Hopefully I'll get it up by the end of the week.
Sounds like a personal problem.
Soon, yeah. Soon.
Yeah. Like our intro. We will be with you shortly. No, we will be with you eventually.
Eventually. Yeah.
All right. I'm Goz. I'm Norgoz. I'm a Twitch streamer and
Twitch streamer.
On,
are you sure?
What?
Are you sure?
YouTube stuff. And yes, I have been streaming every week for the last 2 weeks or something.
I have not been getting notifications. I don't know what you're talking about,
well,
sir.
that's your own. That sounds like a personal problem, buddy. You need to fix that shit. You must have just turned me off after a while. You know what? He hasn't streamed in like a month. I'm just going to turn off his notifications because he's a piece of shit. So I don't blame you. I understand. It's okay. I'm not mad at you. You're not the only one. Actually, I've had several people come in and say, "Dude, where have you been? I didn't get a notification." And I've been streaming for like 4 days straight, and they
Yeah,
pop
no,
in like, "Oh, yeah."
I'm dead serious, man. I haven't been getting
Definitely
notifications from you, and I haven't
I
turned
would-
that off.
I would definitely redo them. It seems like Twitch doesn't like me because I speak out against Twitch because, there's so many things that they could have done so much better and more efficiently before YouTube Gaming come out and forced them to do that. So I'm a little disgruntled.
I have a solution for you.
Oh, yeah?
Change over to
Join
YouTube Gaming. Join us. Join me and Phyrus in join the dark side. We have
The revolution
cookies.
has started, and it's going to be televised on YouTube.
The problem is that, there's the whole content ID thing, and we'll get into that another time. So,
Yeah.
okay,
That's pretty easy to get around. Like, everybody's complaining about that, but man, like, I have a fucking gigantic-ass list of music that I can use during that. No problem.
But that's not the music I want to listen to. That's the difference.
Norgoz
Well,
doesn't listen to
that's
music he wants to listen to.
That's the thing, though. I can't even play Madden 16 without getting content ID. I can't play, like, OSU without getting content. I can't play Lit Sing and not get content ID because it's all copywritten music as part of the game.
Yeah? Yeah?
So,
Don't play those.
yeah.
Or play
I'd
those,
like to.
but then, like, turn music off. Well, obviously you can't with the fucking music game, but,
I don't want to.
with, like, Madden you can.
Yeah, but I don't want to do it. It takes away from the experience. Anyway, let me
I don't want to do anything YouTube related. Didn't you just say that you want to start making YouTube shit? I mean, like, you gotta get used to this content ID eventually, man.
I'll
Fucking
content
A.
your idea in a minute, son.
Yes,
All right.
Welcome back,
and you're-
Norgoz.
and
Here's
you're-
your pile of shit.
And you're when Twitch starts to add the same kind of content ID that YouTube has, you're just gonna flip your shit, and everybody is. But
Everyone will go to Hitbox at that
it will
point.
eventually come, and it's because of how big fucking Twitch is getting that they're gonna need to follow suit. Otherwise, they're gonna get slammed just like YouTube did.
Probably, but then again, who knows? And in the meantime, I'll enjoy it while it lasts. So, I have this week. I have been playing Final Fantasy XIV. I've been getting back to trying to get some gear so I can do the in-game thing. I got a level 60 warrior, and my Dark is right behind it. I want to get Dark Knight leveled up there so that when I have a static that I want to get into, I can be a warrior or a Dark Knight because, as a tank, you need to have more than one job in that game. You really do. You need to have all three to be the best that you could be in case you need to substitute one or the other. All encounters have, not all encounters, but there's always going to be one encounter that this job does it better than that job as far as tanking goes. So that's why I'm doing that. Really enjoying the game and the new content in the expansion. I'm super excited about getting back to the serious in-game stuff. And a lot of my time recently, just last night and today, has been spent on Madden the Gathering. Thanks, Phyrus. Thank you for, inspiring me to become a Madden the Gathering nerd because now with all the extra cards out of the new all the card games that I have, all I needed was one more card game, and so anyway,
bastard.
the mechanics are awesome, and the mechanics are pretty awesome in the game. I haven't played or owned rather a Madden game since '95, not just the year '95, but Madden '95. Yes, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
So
I
it's
haven't
94.
See,
'94. Yeah,
I would
94 it is.
love to say that, but it's not true for me. Fucking the last time I owned a Madden game was, let's see, the PS2, and it was Madden. What was that? When was that? That was like 10 years ago, so it was like Madden 05 or some shit. I don't remember. But I don't I feel bad about that last time that I played Madden just because I was hanging out with an old friend of mine at his apartment, and his roommate, and his roommate was black, and I was finally getting used to being around, like, black people as friends, so I was saying a lot of shit that I should not have been saying, like, look at those slave fleet go, and so on and so forth. And that was because they said it in fucking that one movie, the Adam Sandler movie, The Longest Yard, the remake. Like, I thought it was funny in that movie, so
okay.
I said it there, and then I realized I'm an asshole, and I didn't play Madden ever again. Yeah.
Wow, he's traumatized. He can't. You're horrible. You're a horrible person.
Yeah. I've come to realize this. Thank you, guys.
Cage, please.
I'm enjoying this. I don't need to speak. Anyways, I'm Cage. I just recently got back into streaming today, actually, for a little bit. Also because I needed gameplay footage for the podcast this week. Primarily what I've been doing for like the last 2 weeks is I've been super gluing my fingertips together, trying to get cosplay together. That's about it. Nothing too exciting.
So are you having to wear mittens now because your fingers are all glued together, like claws?
That's kind of what I felt like originally, but not right now. No.
Man, I was actually looking something up that you might enjoy. There is I've been watching this new guy's videos on YouTube, and he does like little quick videos saying check out all this new technology and whatnot that's under $50, and he goes through and he describes what they are and how they work and so on and so forth. And one of them that he talked about was a soldering iron that you can take the head off and put different heads on, and it does like all kinds of different shit. Like they have a foam molder, and they have the soldering iron thing, and so on and so forth. And it's a multi-tool, and it's like I said, the guy does it for under $50, so it's somewhere under $50. And I was watching that video, and I was like, man, fucking Cage would love that.
I might.
So if I'll go check and watch my videos. I'll see where it is, and then I'll find the link for you, because that seems like something that you'd be down for, since you do a lot of cosplay shit. So
yeah, that's what I've been doing.
Whoop whoop. I'm Damien. Been playing Final Fantasy XIV, leveling up my Astrologian, which is right now the most OP healer in the game.
If played properly.
If played properly, it's very OP. And then I've also been trying to get my miner up there, because I realized that I can't level up my blacksmith without having my miner up there, because the price of ore right now is through the fucking roof.
Where's the blacksmith?
So, other than that, I've been playing music. I played last week at a place that had a comedy show come up right after me, which was kind of cool, because there's a bunch of comedians there, and I play a lot of jokey songs. So I played a couple of those, and they thought that was really cool. And I'm not working on my cosplay yet, but my cosplay is much, much, much simpler than Cage's, so I'm not worried about it yet.
You better get started.
I'm gonna wait till it's too damn late, and I'm gonna go to the thrift store, and I'm gonna just freak the fuck out, and that's what I'm gonna do.
You're gonna end up like me, trying to finish it in the hotel room the morning of the convention.
I don't care that much. I'd just be like,
Fuck it. I didn't finish it. You get what you get with me, man.
I would be like, I'm fucking, yep, there we go. Done! And then I just wear what I got.
Sounds like a plan.
I don't think I've been doing it. Oh, I reformatted to Windows 10, so I'm trying that shenanigans out. I hear that a lot of people have problems with it. I haven't had any problems with it yet, and I actually really like, I have Windows 8 on a tablet, 8.1 on a tablet upstairs, and it meshes your Windows accounts together. So when I changed my desktop on my Windows 10, it actually changed my desktop on my tablet as well to match, and the theme to match my desktop, which is really cool. Other than that, yeah, I haven't had any problems with it yet, but I've only had it for like a week or so.
Yeah, I upgraded this week too. The only problem I had is I bought a new 2 terabyte hard disk to upgrade my computer, because actually I was running on 2 old hard drives. One was like a 128, and the other one was like a 256. So I had really small hard drives that I was trying to mash everything on. So I was like, well, I went out and bought a new SATA 3 hard drive, and I couldn't get my install from Windows 8, which is on one of the smaller ones. It upgraded, so it was still residing on one of the smaller ones. I couldn't get it migrated onto my new 2 terabyte drive.
See, I had the same problem. I bought a new hard drive myself. I bought an SSD to put my main stuff on, and what I had to do, I don't know if this is what you ended up having to do, but I upgraded, and then I just went to Windows website, and they have a Windows 8 installer, and once you upgrade to Windows 10 on your main drive and it registers with your Microsoft account that you have Windows 10, you can just straight install Windows 10 on the new one and log in with your Windows account. And as long as it's on the same computer, it actually just goes, it's genuine, unless you change any sort of hardware on it.
Mine's not genuine.
Yeah, I had that same exact problem, and I'm like, what do I do? Because I got a new hard drive, and I was like, I want to do a fresh install, and yeah, so I actually did like a lot of snooping around the internet to find that out, and it took me quite a while to find that solution. So, yeah, snooping, Norgoz, fuck you.
But yeah, before we move on to the news, I think we should actually talk about Damien's song. You guys want to talk about Damien's song for a second?
Yes.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
sure.
It's good shit, man. The first time I heard that, I was like, "Oh, that's adorable." And then when I got to the Phyrus part, he's the scholar of our time. I was like, "Man, he so accurately represents our cast in this shit." You know, because
my favorite part is how Cage gets cut off every time.
Cage doesn't like that part. He's like, "Hey, wait a minute."
I should have waited till you talked, and then I could have cut you off. That would have been perfect.
Yeah, that would have been good.
They couldn't hear us during the song earlier, could they?
No,
I don't think so.
No, they couldn't.
Oh.
Okay.
I had you guys muted. But yeah, no,
I wrote that like a month ago.
It's
so
a
I'm
good
glad we
song.
can use it.
I quite enjoy it. It's some good shit. It pretty much gets the point of the podcast out pretty simply in the whole 2 minutes. Maybe not the whole fact that we're a very NSW show or anything like that, because we are. If you guys didn't know, the Heroes Hideout is a dirty fucking show, and if you are a child, you should get the hell out of here. But if you're
who's talking.
Huh?
It just depends who's talking at the time.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
And how many beers were into the conversation?
Speaking
That's
of,
true.
I just finished my second, and I need to go get another. So.
I'm on my first, and it's almost done. And I'll
What you
probably have another
sipping,
one anyway.
everybody?
Penis.
The Stone Delicious IPA. Delicious IPA is delicious.
Poured beer.
It's very good.
Strong road.
Pepsi.
That's like Damien's
Oh,
third thing that he's drank since I got in here. But you know what? As far as those 2 minutes go, I only need 15 seconds out of said 2 minutes, to get the job done. I'm just efficient like that. And Damien got me out of the way in like 6.
That's all it takes to finish you, Norgoz.
Yeah.
It's not premature anymore. It's efficiency.
It's
Right.
efficiency. Hey, look, we all got jobs. We got games to play. I got Madden the Gathering to get back to. I don't have time to fuck around.
Literally.
All right.
Sweetie,
speaking.
I'm trying to build a dynasty. Get the fuck out of the way. Move. Ah, god damn it, his interception. Fuck you.
Speaking of fucking around, hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Nakiato. I am your host. I am a YouTuber, streamer, extra life participant, father, so on and so forth. Let's see. What have I been doing? Last week, I went to a convention and saw a ton of cosplay, and the entire time I was just like, man, Cage would have a field day up in this bitch. And then I got to stare at some hot chicks' asses, which is nice. Like, there was this one chick that was wearing a pink fishnet, and then the only thing that she had on was just a pink bra and pink panties, and I was like, I love going to conventions. This is fucking awesome. And then, what else? I have... Shit, I don't even know what I've been doing, man. I've been working 12 hours a day for the past week, and I'm going to do so for another 3 months because I now have an IT specialist job. And it's stressful as fuck, man. Having to work 12 hours a day, come home, take care of the kids, go to sleep, wake up, make dinner, take care of the kids some more, go to work, go to second work, come home, repeat process. Fuck it. Oh, I'm dying, man. I am so exhausted every single day. I mean, there was a little bit when I got home one day where I was like, I could probably stream right now. And then I went to go get everything set up, and I was like, I'm too fucking tired, man. I'm way too tired for this shit. So I just went to bed instead. And then I picked up Metal Gear Solid: The Phantom Pain.
And that shit ended quickly, didn't it?
And that shit, oh, man.
The whole sleeping thing went out the window.
The sleeping, the little sleep that I already get is gone. That's all I've been doing. I'm probably about 4.5, 5 hours into that, and holy shit, is that game fun. That game is a lot of fun. If you own a PS4, PC, Xbox One, whatever the fuck you own, if you are even slightly into the Metal Gear Solid series, even slightly, go check that game out. I would suggest to watch a refresher video first, because there's going to be a lot of shit in the first like hour where you're just like, what the fuck, what the hell's the Diamond Dogs, and who's this guy, who's Miller, who's this person, wasn't Ocelot a bad guy? Like, there's all kinds of shit where you're just like, I don't know what's going on. Shit, maybe I should have watched those videos. But it's good. It is so much fun.
Is it from Ground Zeroes that we need to watch stuff from? Or is it 4 plus Ground Zeroes?
The hard part with it is it follows the storyline of Big Boss in the 80s.
Right.
So the storyline for all the games are going out of order. We'll start from Metal Gear Solid 1 and go from there. So in Metal Gear Solid 1, you play as Snake, the clone of Big Boss, who you play in the Phantom Pain. And then from Metal Gear Solid 1, you go to Metal Gear Solid 2, and Metal Gear Solid 2 is all about Raiden. Raiden. It's the same fucking thing. And you play as him going through the first part of the game, the first like 30 minutes to an hour, is you playing a Snake, and then it does this big reveal of like, you are now Raiden, and you're like, who the fuck is this guy? I don't like this emo little douchebag. And then you get used to him, and then he gets naked, and then you get to play with swords, and you're like, all right, this guy is pretty pimp once you start playing with the swords.
He gets naked, and then you play swords with him? That sounds pretty good.
Yeah, oh man, it was so gay, but it was so good. He knows how to handle his sword, man. So after that, you learn about the Patriots, and then bam, Metal Gear Solid 3 happens, and Metal Gear Solid 3 isn't even part of the Solid series. It's Big Boss. It's Big Boss back before he was Big Boss, and he was called Naked Snake back then, and that game's based in the 60s. So you play as Naked Snake all the way up until he becomes Big Boss. And then at the end of Metal Gear Solid 3, you become Big Boss and you work for the US government and so on and so forth. And then it kicks off into Metal Gear Solid 4, which Metal Gear Solid 4 then again you're Solid Snake, the guy from the first game that you didn't get to play for the last 2 games. And while you're Solid Snake, you end the storyline completely. They haven't made a game after Metal Gear Solid 4 story-wise, and that's because pretty much everybody fucking dies. If you didn't know, spoilers, everybody dies. And it was good shit. It was a very good ending for the series. Maybe a little corny at times, but it was good. And then from Metal Gear Solid 4, it goes into Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker, and that's when you play as Snake again, or Naked Snake, who is now Big Boss. And while you're Big Boss, you start amassing your army to make Outer Heaven, which then it's not Outer Heaven because it gets nukes, and then
God damn it! I'm lost, and I even know what happens. What are you doing?
I zoned this for like the whole game.
This is the whole series as it's laid out.
I just all I asked was
LDR, please.
So all right, fine. We'll go from Peace Walker to Ground Zeroes to the Phantom Pain. Those are the 3 in order. So in Peace Walker, you play as Snake after Metal Gear Solid 3, and you amass your army, and then your army gets destroyed, and then fast forward to Ground Zeroes, and in Ground Zeroes you play as, Big Boss again, trying to go save some of the people that are now missing from the end of Peace Walker, and it's kind of like a prologue to the Phantom Pain. And at the end of Ground Zeroes, shit explodes and you go into a coma for 9 years. And then the phantom pain is the beginning of you coming out of that coma, out of that 9-year coma. And yeah, that's the storyline right there. Like that's,
So basically the storyline is you were in a coma, you came out of a coma, and then shit happens. Dear God, Nakiato.
Okay, so people who are watching this recorded or listening to it recorded, me, Phyrus, and Cage were just having a discussion through the whole thing about dicks in the chat. So there you go.
He's talking about big bosses, and we're talking about urination. So, yeah. I think my confusion, I would love to understand the Metal Gear Solid saga.
It's awesome.
There are plenty of videos that go over the saga storyline.
Yeah, but I mean, you don't really understand unless you play it. I've watched the what happened in this game videos, and it just... The confusing part is they reuse so many names in that series. I mean, because you don't know if it's Snake, Old Snake, Naked Snake, Twisted Snake, Black Snake, Black Mamba Snake.
Black Snake Moan.
Black Snake Moan.
It's so confusing because I mean it's like some of the guys look alike, but you don't know if it's just because they're different ages and it spans so much time. It's confusing as shit to me.
All right. Let just basic understanding.
We can talk about this some other time because we're gonna totally
hold
lose
on.
our two.
I've been playing it. I want to talk about it. So,
Oh God, no.
Solid Snake looks like Big Boss or Naked Snake because he is a clone. That's the entire storyline that you find out in Metal Gear Solid 1, the first game in the series.
Isn't Big Boss a female?
No, well, in Metal Gear Solid 3, she is.
See?
The reason why...
Fuck?
So Big Boss in that game is a female. She's your boss. She's your love interest, and you find this all out in the first, 10 minutes of the game. At the end of that, you kill her, and you take on the name Big Boss, which is why he becomes Big Boss. God damn it, I didn't know that part! Well, fuck... I'm sorry. Spoilers.
The game's 10 years old. You should know this by now.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why he's called Big Boss, is because he's taken over that name from this person. And I'm not telling you all of the reason why he's taken over that name or what happened between them. Yes, he kills her, but there is much more than just that happened. But that's why he took that name.
Stop.
No, there was not a male Big Boss before that. Big Boss is Naked Snake. So it all starts with Naked Snake. Naked Snake becomes Big Boss. Big Boss gets cloned. Big Boss goes into a coma. Big Boss becomes Venom Snake. Solid Snake is the clone from Big Boss, which is why he looks like him. Liquid Snake is also a clone from Big Boss, but he doesn't look like him. And Solidus Snake is a clone from Big Boss, and he doesn't look like him either.
I don't know what we're talking about.
Then who's half naked Snake?
There is no half naked Snake.
And what are the Metal Gears?
Looking more and more uncomfortable, and he was just slowly melting down into his webcam, just face on desk, just waiting for it to end.
No. If we're gonna play this game, I can go into a detailed hour-long description of the intricacies of maximizing your DPS as a bard, but I don't think anybody wants to hear that.
I think I got it. I think I figured it out.
There's a snake.
Wait.
And a Metal Gear. And a big
old man in a wheelchair under a box.
Well, actually, there is an old man in a wheelchair. His name's Zero. Zero is...
I thought he was the main kid.
Way cooler than Mega Man.
Zero. I need a flowchart. That's what I need. I need a flowchart.
Oh, I need a timeline drawn out.
Oh, hang on. I got this. All right. So what we got to do here is, wait. I got this. Where's a? Okay. No, that's a credit card.
Your mail?
So here's what we do. Where's it at?
If you guys wanted to know Norgoz's fucking address, here we go.
Okay. So here's what we do. Okay?
He's got pants on.
Here's what we do, okay? Where's my fucking pen? I never have a pen when I need it. Okay, I'm just going to use the fork.
Norgoz is
going to draw us a picture.
I have no pen, so we're just going to use the fork here, okay?
Wait, what?
So, fork? Why are you using a fork? That doesn't make any goddamn sense.
You're going to poke holes in the paper for us or something? Or
you're going to have to give me a second to get a pen.
I remember at one point in time,
Where this
We were
was an
talking
actual
Talk about
podcast.
gaming news, and there was a world out there that existed outside of Metal Gear, and I forgot what it's like to live in that world.
I remember what that was like until I picked up the Phantom Pain, and then I was like, nope, fuck it. Just playing this.
Okay.
That's all that matters right now.
All right. So here's what we do, okay?
Here comes the artist at work.
All
I'm
right.
so
So
excited.
right here, you have.
Can you get like a Sharpie? We can't see that.
I don't have a Sharpie. I don't
Who doesn't have a
fucking
Sharpie?
Okay, look right here. You've got. Yeah, you can't see. God damn it! I swear to God.
I could see it.
Yeah,
For
I can
people
see that one when
listening,
you put it right
Norgoz
underneath
is
the camera.
failing extraordinarily, and he
I don't know
keeps
what he
leaving
drew.
and coming back, and he drew some kind of like, it looked like a gravestone with 3 little birds on it.
Do you got, I don't know, chalk?
It's not important.
Yeah, take the
Draw a
camera
picture of the cat
outside,
bird.
get some sidewalk
Get some
shots.
sidewalk shock. Okay, listen. Just stick with me, okay? Just
I'm
I'll
trying.
highlight.
It's just
Okay, look. I'm just gonna
can't see.
see this giant fucking
All right.
hole right here.
Yeah,
That right
you drew a
there,
circle,
okay.
guys.
This right here is the naked snake. Okay.
Okay.
Right here.
All right.
All right.
That
Now
looks
in the
like a ball.
storyline, okay, you have naked snake,
Uh-huh.
and then he puts some clothes on. He transforms into what we now know to be Saddam Hussein. Okay.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
I mean, like,
And
he's in
then-
Afghanistan, but
He's in
he's
Afghanistan,
not.
right? Exactly. He's in Afghanistan, and then all of a sudden, bada big, bada boom, you're in the fucking Phantom Pain, okay? And then your goal is to throw a real quick pass over to Adolf Hitler back in time, okay? And then you see Kung Fury comes along, all right,
Fury.
from over here. And he does a drop kick on the Adolf Hitler right here, okay?
With
There's
Hacker
a
Man.
giant clash of shit called Dynasty Warriors, and that brings in that series right here. Okay, there's a giant
Dynasty
fucking
Warriors.
explosion, and that's the Big Bang Theory, and then everybody fucking dies, and then it's fucking over. It's over.
And
Everybody
then
fucking
it
dies.
starts again, and it does the whole Mass Effect thing where every thousands or so
Iris has a
years.
drawing too.
Yeah,
Wait,
this is my
When I
timeline.
cared?
It starts when I cared, and you go here, and now this is where we're at.
So now we're having art class over here. This is great, guys. I missed you. I'm happy you're back.
I missed the most important part is that depending on what part of the world you're in or what area code you're in, the timeline might have been, linear or parallel, depending on what part of the world and in time you are. You never know. Time is insane.
Pro tip.
All right, so
Pro tip. No, me first. Me first. Quit cutting
No,
me off.
you're getting interrupted.
Pro tip though. Next time, bring a Sharpie next time, so we can see your drawing.
Okay, I will do that.
I appreciate that. Okay, Damien, you were saying.
Norgoz.
Yes.
Can we do the news?
I was gonna hijack it like 10 minutes ago in the middle of Naki's rant, but I didn't do it.
Longest intro 2015.
I know we've been at this for like over half an hour. This is horrible.
Have we?
I think yes.
And
Yeah,
we have a
I've
lot
been
of
here for half
notes.
an hour.
We have a lot of notes this week too. So shit.
a lot of
That's
news.
right.
We didn't
Breakdown
just
took
talk
like
about
15 minutes.
snakes, naked snakes, and big bosses and lady bosses and killing him, making.
All right. Well,
I wanna-
fuck.
all right, yeah.
Okay. All right.
Do it,
Fine.
let's do it.
Fine. Speaking of being naked, let's get into the news. So the first one on this week's agenda
Wait, no,
is
you gotta, Norgoz gotta
fine.
do it.
Norgoz, do your fucking news intro. Jesus Christ.
What are
Go. Go.
Man, Naki didn't.
News. It's the news. Yeah, it's the news. Nakiato isn't ready for the news. Wake up, motherfucker!
So good to have you back.
Have fun editing that, Phyrus. It sucks ass. So, moving into the news, like I was saying, speaking of being naked, this first bit of news is there is a indie developer called Fulbright Company, and they came out with a game called Sybil. And
I don't think it's
Sybil,
out yet.
well, they're coming out with a game called Sybil, and Sybil is all about talking to people on the internet and then meeting these people in real life and fucking these people. Yeah, that's essentially
Particularly
what
one
this
guy.
game is. And it's a very interesting article. What are your guys' thoughts on this?
Do you want to go first, Norgoz, or am I going first?
I think I got this. I think I got this.
Okay,
So
you go first then.
I've got commentary, and I've got 2 stories that I could tell you, but I guess I'll tell you guys what your options are, and you guys can tell me which ones you want to listen to. So my commentary is this. I read through this, and this is a very, very long article about discovering sexuality on the internet through this game. And it's basically about, kind of what Naki was saying, this girl, it's supposed to be, actually if you read through all of it, it's basically this girl, it's a story about herself, how she meets this guy, and so on and so forth. And I can actually relate to this in some ways. And it's about...
you can relate to being a girl and meeting this guy?
Just hear me out, sweet thing. So when I was young, and I was exploring myself, I wasn't quite sure whether...
I was a young warthog!
And somebody was exploring your butthole?
And when I was on Tuesday, I wasn't sure if I wanted to be a guy or a girl, and on Wednesday I wasn't sure if I wanted to be a pineapple or a banana. And
then you became a Fridgekin.
And then I became,
Fridgekin.
Sorry, LGBT thing. That's transphobic, Norgoz. And then now I'm out. I did my part for the show. See you later, everybody. Goodbye!
Oh, anyway, so... It's not transphobic. I think that you just need to be decisive about who you are and stick with it, not choose random shit to go with on one day or the other. It makes no sense to me. And it's not that it makes no sense to me. We can have a discussion about it if you want to. Look me up. Okay, so about this story, the funny thing about it is that you're basically in this game. You have a desktop. You literally are basically you have a computer desktop. You can go through stuff. You can see pictures and stuff. And basically, it actually. One concern I have, it's sort of joking, more serious though, that it has pictures of said girl, like in her bra, that she sent to this person, and it's supposed to be like an actual picture of her that she pulled off of her other her old computers.
It probably
was she of age at this point? Are we going to be like if we get this game, are we going to be in violation of the law for having child pornography on our frickin' computers just because she's half naked in a bra?
She's not naked.
Well, she's not, but I mean it's questionable, right? Anyways, the point being is that it goes through this game, and it talks about how when you're in the teen, you go in the chat rooms and stuff. And back in my day, that's what I did too. I went in the chat rooms and we role played, and there was the cybers and stuff, but there was also the gaming stuff that was linked in with it. And the thing that I can relate to a lot is that she found her love interest on Final Fantasy XI. I found one of mine on Final Fantasy XI, but also found a bigger love interest on EverQuest 2. So the thing is that with this game, it's interesting because by putting yourself into those situations, you can learn a lot about yourself, but there's various ways to do that. I have a story. I'm going to get to the story because I don't know exactly, other than, those are kind of my comments. So I have one of 2 stories to tell you. I told you I've had a love interest on Final Fantasy XI and one on EverQuest 2. And it was...
Man, I thought my fucking story about Metal Gear was long. Holy shit.
Davey was like, it was me. So it's basically this. I'm gonna say these are the titles of the 2 stories. You tell me what you want to hear. It is how I found the love of my life, or how I fell in love with a man.
It was me, right?
I think
we're talking about
the second one before, hadn't we? Haven't we heard that story?
I think we've heard the story about how you fell in love with
Let's go with the first one. Yeah, let's go with the first one.
Okay. EverQuest 2. I had literally just moved servers to be in a high-end raiding guild. And I left somebody behind who we both kind of were slightly interested in each other. And so I started leveling up an alt on her on the old server. And I was kind of drunk one night, as I most often are. Naki, I don't even want to see that look. Your discussion about the whole naked snake shit was like 15 minutes long. You could suck a dick, preferably mine. So I was drunk, right? Mostly intoxicated. And I just blurted it out. Because again, this actually ties directly into the chat room thing. Back in the chat room days, there was a girl who was in her 20s, and she would introduce herself to other people with an icebreaker, and the icebreaker was, how do you feel about anal sex? And I kind of blurted that out to her. I was like, how about an icebreaker? How do you feel about anal sex? And there was a slight pause, and she says, I like it. And I was still keyed up, like, oh, thank God.
that was pretty much. From there, I mean, that was basically, you know, I was told that if a woman lets you do, I'm not ATM. I'm just gonna say ATM. I'm gonna make it slightly appropriate. You gotta marry her, and so that's how I found my love interest. And so
I thought we were on the other one. How you met a guy when you said, "Are you into anal?" And he said yes. Dude. So I was just making sure we were still on story 1 and not story 2.
I'm confused.
Yeah. A guy will do ATM, Norgoz, no problem.
I thought we were. I thought you said you had heard the one about how.
Yes.
He
was joking. He was fucking with you. Yeah.
I hate you. Okay. So anyway, that was, you know, bygones be bygones, and this again ties back into the story because it says in one section here in the game. Beer. Okay. So in one section in the game, it says that Ichi, which is the person she's supposed to be falling in love with, the other character, he shouts, "Yeah, I got the final hit on the boss," and that insinuates, at least to the person that was writing the article, that he could be, you know, kind of selfish, you know, calling the shots and taking the glory and the loot and stuff. And I kind of related to that because I'm very selfish in any of the games that I play and any of the love interests that I've had. I've always been doing the things that I want to do, and they can tag along if they want to. If I tag along with them, it's for the same reason. I get some kind of benefit out of it, some of which is just their company, but most of the time there's some kind of loot that's involved. So I kind of related to that as well, so I'm tying it all back in. And I was like, yeah, and this comes to a close where in EverQuest 2, where our love started, our love ended. And this is where it gets depressing. So about 3 minutes in, 3 days, excuse me, 3 minutes, that's longer than 15 seconds. 3 days into the Stormhold server going live, which is a progression server. It starts from the ground up. You play the classic game, no expansions until it's voted in. And we played, and then she broke up with me because I basically, instead of leveling up with her, I passed her. And that was like the last straw of like a slew of things that we were having problems with, and most of which revolved around me and being selfish and shit. So, yeah, that's what happened with me, and now we're just friends.
So the moral of the story is, girls that do anal are fickle.
Oh
No.
yeah.
No, they're not. They're definitely not fickle. They're wildcats, though.
Can I ramble real quick? I'm going to make this short. Okay, so
Sorry.
Or quick rather. I think that this game is really cool because I know of a lot of people, including myself, that explore their sexuality on the internet via video games and meeting other people in video games. However, I find the game slightly off-putting because of the fact that she meets this person in real life, which I don't know what the span is or how well she knows him, but I would know if I played the game, I suppose. But that's just how it happened. This story is actually an autobiography of the chick who made the game. Yeah. And if you actually watch the trailers for the video, it's actually just video clips of the first trailer is a clip of her like sitting at her computer playing her game, which looks to be like her now playing the game. But one of the prologues for the actual game is like her 14, 15-year-old self walking around the house with a camera or whatever. And I think that's really interesting, and it's a weird, strange narrative, but I don't know how good it would be as a game. It sounds interesting as an autobiography, and I think that making an autobiography into a video game is an interesting way to get that out there and have that exposed to people, especially when you're talking about your experience with video games. Doing an autobiography through a video game is very unique and very cool. It's kind of like they've been doing that a lot lately, though. They got like all these other fucking games that are autobiographies through video games.
They're making very relatable games lately.
Yes,
Wait.
I think it's really cool. Me, I don't think I've ever accidentally fallen in love with a man in a video game.
You said accidentally.
Accidentally. So I don't know. It's never been a big thing for me. I guess like the surprise, because I was caught up in a lot of drama in Final Fantasy XI when I was part of a Link Shell, and the guy that ran the Link Shell ran it with his fiance, and they were engaged, but he had never met them in real life, and then he found out that it was a man, and totally lost his shit, and it like the Link Shell I was in just fucking fell apart, and it was like this big fucking drama, and it was great. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I know of at least 3 other guys that played the game that pretended to be women, and I myself in 11 did make a female character to get free shit because people will hand you free shit.
It does. In Final Fantasy XI specifically, more than others, it seemed like. Because the characters in Final Fantasy 11 or 14, they're just fucking beautiful. They're just beautiful fucking people. The guys look great. The women look amazing. I mean, especially the cat girls. The cat girls are fucking hot, okay? I'm not going to lie. And that's what happened with me. It was a cat girl, and she turned out to have a penis.
Oh,
and I said it's after 3 a.m. and I'm drunk. Who gives a fuck?
Right, who cares? That Final Fantasy XI was actually my first interaction with ERP or cybering or whatever, and it was completely by fucking accident. What happened is I would role play, and that's just like fun, not erotic or anything, just would role play. And I ran into somebody who's like, "Hey, why don't we go to the corner?" I'm like, "What is this?" And then it happened, and I was completely stupid because I was like really young. Too young to be doing anything.
He's saying that he involuntarily. He's saying that he was raped, but not really raped because he's not really sure whether or not he consented to it. Is what he's saying.
Well, even if I consented to it, I was too young, and if they were an adult, then that's it was very strange. But
now we've touched on 2 topics that make me look like a complete douchebag. We can just separate me from the podcast because I'm a complete ass. This is why I've been away for a month. I've been trying to, isolate my assholishness, and then
that's what you're good at, though.
I didn't. I just splooged all over the frickin', podcast, and that's what happened. So
okay,
anyway,
Phyrus, do you have anything to say before we move on?
There was splooging. I've never really had this issue with falling in love with someone online. All my relationships have been based in real life. I've had really, really close friends in different MMOs, for sure, but they've been very familial as opposed to romantic engagements. I think the closest online family I've ever had was in EverQuest 1 with my guild there. We were all very tight, and this when I was young. I was probably like 17, 18, something like that. So I was looking for, friends at that point, and I found them on the game. I never met any of them in real life, and that was perfectly fine with me. But I tend to play female characters in MMOs, just because I like the way they look more than the male characters look. But it's always strange every once in a while when I get interaction with another player. And they'll refer to me as a she. It's like, damn, girl, you're awesome at this, or you take the shit out of that girl, and I'm like, wait,
oh, tanked it.
Well, yeah, I mean, he doesn't know that I'm not a guy. I understand it. But in fact, the other day, a couple of my guildmates, they're like, hey, do you want to get on TeamSpeak? I'm like, no, I would, but I'm streaming right now. And you're like, you're streaming? Oh, where can I find you? And I was like, oh, I'm on YouTube here, and I'm on Twitch. And they're like, dude, you got a beard. I was like, yeah, I got a beard.
I got a beard.
But I mean, it shouldn't come as a surprise. I mean, despite the charts that we've seen and the news that we've seen recently, where there's a lot more female gamers out there than there used to be. I think a lot of PC games is still taken over by male players. As far as this game goes, I didn't take the time to look at the trailers or anything like that, but there's a lot of content out here that resembles this. That it's not a game that you can quote unquote win so much as we've known gaming as. You know, a lot of this stuff is more next level content where you can live through the eyes of a person and experience what they experienced.
In this case, it's a story. You're living through a story, which, you know, that's like you said, it's not something you could win, but I think it's something it's relatable. It doesn't focus just on the romantic aspect of growing up on the internet and in games and stuff, but also just the relationships you form and the people you get to know. And I think that's actually a really big thing, especially for the younger generation in particular. I mean, I'm younger-ish, I guess, and I can relate to that a lot. I spent a lot of time on the internet playing games with people.
But I don't know that you can relate to the. I would like to find out how old this person is, just to know how close in like terms of like what I can relate to, because AOL was a thing.
Right.
That's where I did all my chat rooms and stuff. You know, it was all AOL. Well, some of it was Yahoo, you know, a few years later, once I actually matured a little bit, I guess, in the internet. But AOL was it. It was the thing. It was the thing to go. It was the place to go. It was where all the people were role playing. Like they had all kinds of like. I was back on Pokemon, doing Pokemon back then. They had all kinds of like Pokemon battle rooms and shit. They had like little bots that would like have you do the attacks, and it was awesome. It was fucking cool. So yeah. Anyway.
I think it's probably a pretty cool story though, for a lot of people that have experienced these kinds of things.
I'm gonna pick it up just because of the whole the article about it and what the whole synopsis and what it's about, to support the game and support the developer. I don't know when I'll be able to play it or if I'll be able to play it, to be completely honest. But I'm gonna pick it up just for the fact that it is what it is, and I'm gonna give them my support, because I mean they deserve it. They deserve it. I can relate.
All right.
It's an interesting game. I don't, you know, even though I am technically in the range of how old everybody was for this to relate to them, I'd never experienced any of that growing up. I never met with a girl I had interest with or anything like that. I've made friends online, that's for sure. I had one guy fall in love with me because he thought I was a girl.
Remember this.
And that one was interesting. That's a fun story. But yeah, no, I've never once had the whole like internet relationship with someone before. But I do find this game interesting. I think it's an interesting concept, and it does relate to a lot of people nowadays, because that's how a lot of people meet. I mean, shit, you can't even go a year at BlizzCon without somebody proposing to somebody that they met in World of Warcraft. You know, that happens every fucking year. So
yep,
it's cool. I respect them for making this game, and I'm glad to see somebody going a little bit outside of the box in this type of genre. So, but yeah, speaking of people that go outside the box, let's talk about somebody that's firmly within the box and does not step outside of it one single bit. So, Destiny, Xbox. You guys remember Destiny, right?
Yes.
All right.
What's that?
Destiny is coming out with the Taken King expansion. And to get people pumped this week, they are allowing you to play all of the multiplayer add-ons for the Taken King for free until the game comes out, and then you have to buy it, and so on and so forth. What do you guys think about its multiplayer going free for this week leading up to release?
It's weird.
I think it's a good idea.
I think it's probably
for promotion's sake.
Idea,
I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't remember anyone ever doing. I know it's been done before, I'm sure, but I can't remember the last time I've heard of something like this happening. So it's interesting. I don't mean to change topics slightly, but right after this and right after the whole multiplayer section in the story, it says the voice actor Nolan North is replacing the workup actor Peter Dinklage throughout the game. Who did Peter Dinklage do the voiceover for?
Ghost
that week.
Yeah, we talked.
You've
about
been
this.
gone for a while. We talked about that.
Jesus. Okay, well, I think this is a really cool idea. I think that it's cool to do a demo of it. People don't do demos anymore, and I think that's really nifty. I feel like, what happened to demos, man? Modern day demos are like betas, and it's like a weird fine line between beta and a demo, because if you do a beta and that's not your finished product, and then you market it as a demo, you let a bunch of people play it, and then like you had something wrong with your game, then you've already exposed it to everybody, and everybody's like already got bad press for the game or whatever. Versus like a demo is like a finished product that you're like, hey, check this little bit of finished product out. I think it's awesome because you get to hook people who wouldn't normally buy it if they like play it and then they're like, oh, hey, I like this, then they're gonna buy it. But my question for you guys about this is, why is the line between demos and betas so blurred? And does anybody here think that betas being seen as a demo are a hurtful thing?
To me,
Cage.
most demos that I've seen so far lately are more cinematic than actually letting you play the game. They go, here's an intro to the story. All right, you're done. Now go pick up the game and actually get to see some gameplay. And because really, the only time I've ever seen demos now are on like the PlayStation networks in their store. They have a small demo section.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the only time you really get to get any gameplay in anything considered it, or what you would consider a demo would be in most betas. So I don't know.
I think PlayStation's been doing well with their demos. Granted, it's all up to the developers whether they're going to offer them or not. But if you look on PlayStation Store, you will find limited time demos. So it's the actual
the first
game,
hour of the game.
But they give you an hour to play it, to feel it out, and then it shuts off.
And I do like that way of doing demos, because it allows you to jump into the game for the first hour, experience the game unfucking hindered by them polishing up a couple sections of it and throwing it into a demo, and see if you're actually interested in the title for what it really is at launch. The downside to that is you only get a taste of the newbie character. You only get a limited experience to what you can do. Like if you had an hour preview of The Last of Us, you'd basically get to watch your kid die and then it would stop. So
God, no,
that might not sell the game.
That shit made me cry, and then it made me cry again, and then it made me cry again. That shit is that fucking intro is so hard hitting, like a motherfucker, man. It's so well done. That last week because I decided to try to get back into the game, and I just like, well, I'm not sure where I am in the game, so I'm gonna start over, and then I had to do it again. It's kind of like, cutters where they cut themselves. That's kind of what I was doing by replaying that part. I think you read this article differently than I read it. From what I gathered from this article, it's not an open demo preview. It is for people that already own Destiny, and this is a 1-week preview of the patch that's coming up. So it's not
way less cool.
It's not a free-for-all, try this and see if you want to play Destiny. This is for people that own Destiny, and it's a preview of the upgraded, the Taken King expansion.
Well, I mean,
it's not even the
technically,
whole expansion, it's just the PvP for the
right,
technically you can access PvP from Destiny's beta. So, or Destiny's demo. The Taken King is going to be a buyable expansion for $40.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't. I guess I kind of misspoke a little bit there. I didn't mean that it was a demo for the whole game. I meant that it was a demo for the expansion.
I read it as.
And even then, it's just the PvP. It's not the whole expansion.
Yeah.
And that's okay. I mean, because this is a large content launch. Giving people too much of a peek into the content.
I would hope that it's a large content launch for fucking $40.
Yeah,
we've discussed this before.
I'm gonna kind of go back to what Damien said, and I thought this was a free for like anyone to try. But now that you kind of said that, it almost makes me, or now that Damien mentioned betas and demos, it kind of makes me think they could also be using it as a form of a stress test for whatever new zones or servers, or technically it's a beta. At least most modern betas at this point.
Yeah.
So I don't think they're going to make any changes to these modes within a week. So I think this is finished product. I think this is just trying to hook people into buying the expansion that they may not otherwise. Because, yes, it's a content release, but if you are a PvP player and really don't give a crap about the content, don't want to get involved in the raids, and you just want to play PvP, you may buy this expansion because this offers 2 different modes for the PvP. So by doing it this way, they may be trying to lock PvP players in, because if you're a content player for Destiny, you're going to buy this regardless. So it's trying to loop in and trying to recapture some of the Call of Duty 3 people in like the upcoming Battlefront, Star Wars Battlefront, and all that stuff. They're trying to capture PvP players by doing this and try to get them hooked to get them to buy the expansion. That's my optics on this.
So I have a serious question for you guys then. Did any of you guys play Destiny?
Yeah.
Yes.
I played a little bit.
Yes.
Are you even slightly interested in playing any of this new content?
I'm not a current Destiny player, so no.
Yeah, I don't play Destiny.
I didn't get like into the high-end content of the game. I got close to level 20, and there's probably 1,000,001 people that are screaming at me right now, you know, that are just like, you didn't even get it. No, I didn't. I don't think I really had to. I mean, really the thing about Destiny is that the end game is all that the game has that is fairly unique. So in some regards, yes, maybe, but you do the same missions or the same planets over and over, and it's all instance, and that's not my cup of tea. I enjoyed playing what I did, but
I mean, like, the mechanics and everything, they're solid.
Oh, yeah.
My issue with Destiny is more so, I paid $60 for a game that...
paid 90.
I didn't buy any of the expansions or season passes or whatnot, but I bought the base game for $60 and played everything that game had to offer except for the raids. So getting up to level 20, getting fucking light gear, so on and so forth. Like, I did all that except for the raids. And it's like the only thing that I thought was fun was honestly just the PvP, because the storyline sucked. The instances, yeah, the instances were unique and nice, but their open world zones sucked balls. Pretty much everything about the game was just lackluster like a motherfucker, and the storyline, man, the storyline just... it was so not even, like, connected. It didn't feel good at all. It felt like it tried to pull off a lot of what, like, Borderlands did, but Borderlands did it way, way better than fucking Destiny did. And I don't know, I feel like it was $60 wasted on my end. And that's coming, like, I feel like I made a better purchase with Call of Duty Advanced Warfare for $60 than I did for Destiny for $60. And the only thing I did in Advanced Warfare was the multiplayer, and I got like halfway through the storyline, and I got more storyline going halfway through Call of Duty than I got out of the fucking out of Destiny, you know? And the expansions are not worth what the asking price was. The expansions were basically just like, hey, want a raid for $15? Well, here you go. And that's really all it was. I mean, yes, it had a little bit more in it, but that's all anybody ever fucking played it for. And then now they're coming out with this $40 expansion, and they're asking me to put another $40 into the game to make the game fun again, and I didn't think that the original $60 was worth the fucking money. So why would I put more money into this? You know, like, so that's my mindset with this.
They're not asking you for $40. They've lost you. You're not going to buy this. There are lots of players that still play Destiny, and they're the ones they're asking to pay $40 for this expansion.
They shouldn't be asking anybody, though, at this... I mean, at this point, yes, they can ask for money for the expansion, but I agree with Naki that the first couple expansions were more like adventure packs. They didn't add a huge amount of content to the game. Again, I didn't get into in-game, but I think I know enough about the game and the actual expansion, what content it offered, to say that they're more of adventure packs than expansion packs. And if you don't know what an adventure pack is, basically it's simply like 1/4 of like what an expansion pack would be, roughly. That's what I mean when I say adventure pack. It's like a short little bit of stuff, and I really don't think that it was worth doing that. Now, I paid, like I said, the $90 or $80 or whatever it was for a collector's or deluxe edition, so I got the base game plus the first couple expansion packs, basically prepaid for the season pass, which the season pass was only the first couple expansions. You don't even get the rest of them, which you got to pay $40 for this expansion, so it kind of goes we've come full circle. I don't know if I would, if you enjoy the game, then maybe it's worth it to you. I think it's a good game as far as mechanics go. I think that they failed in regards to the open world content because it's all totally instance, which so is Skyforge, but I enjoy Skyforge. But again, both of those games, if there was more open world content, more open world contested type content, like if there was a raid that was out on the planet that you could only do with X number of people in your group, but once you claimed it, nobody else could touch it, and then you had to either kill it or die, and then the next group could try and do it. I like that, and I think that they need to bring that to Destiny. And if that's in fucking Taken King, then fucking money. That's fucking money. You guys should have did this a long fucking time ago.
They should have had a good storyline a long fucking time ago. I think one of the reasons why Destiny pisses me off so fucking bad is the storyline. It's non-existent. You can go through the entire fucking game and like barely understand anything that actually fucking happened because it doesn't explain anything to you, and the bits that you do get of storyline were just like, all right, they were setting up this map. And then that's it. Like, that's all the fucking storyline was. And then you kill a giant poop monster. You kill a giant poop monster, and boom, the game's done. And like, that's all. That's all the game fucking offers. But, I don't know, like, you brought up Skyforge. So Skyforge is essentially the same thing. You have your dungeons, and then you have your raids, and then you have open world zones. So in that way, it's structured very much like Destiny is. But the reason why I'm not like disappointed in Skyforge is, one, it's fucking free, and two,
it wasn't made by Bungie.
Two, it wasn't made by Bungie, and three, it's always like Skyforge has been pushing the whole like it's a fucking MMO from the start. Like that's what that game was made for. Whereas Destiny was like, hey, look at this fucking game that's made by Bungie, these people that made Halo, and they made a fucking fantastic storyline over there. So hey, like, let's get hyped for all the fucking fantastic storyline and futuristic sci-fi shit that you're about to go through on your PlayStation and any other platform. Like, yes, I'm a PlayStation player, so being able to play a fucking game made by the people that made Halo after they made Halo, so they know that, in my mind, I would think that they would know where to improve upon Halo. Didn't even fucking like improve anything. They didn't even tap what they made for fucking Halo. It was bad, and I was so fucking disappointed when it came to that. But its PvP was great. Its PvP was a fucking blast. I didn't fucking care by the time I was done with it, though. I was just like, fuck, I'm gonna go back to my free-to-play games. This is dumb. I don't know. Alright, I'm done ranting.
Oh, yeah.
Yay! I mean, if it tells you anything, I played Destiny for about 2.5 hours, and then I decided that I'd rather be playing something else. So.
Like Honey Pop.
Well, I mean, my problem is that I'm garbage at console shooters. So like, I'm not even garbage. I'm mediocre at console shooters, but I'm like good at PC shooters. So being like headshot on PC, and then going over there and being like,
auto aim, help me.
No, there's aim assist. There's aim assist on the console though.
I don't like that though.
But it feels like cheating.
It does. It does a little bit, but it doesn't. It just depends on how much of consoles that you play, because it's pretty much the standard. I mean, you could elect. See, here's the thing, is that you could elect not to do it, but
and you're horrible.
It makes the game hard.
like Battlefield 4 as an example.
Battlefield 4 is an example. You go online, everybody else in that game is using aim assist. And the only thing really aim assist does is that when you look down, at least for BF4, and it's about the same for Destiny, is that when you look down the sights, if you're around, if your sights are up here, and you look down and you actually look, and that's where your gun's pointed when it's at the side. When you aim down the sights, it moves to my face. You guys are missing the visual if you're on audio, but I mean it moves down to my face basically. And it follows me. It follows me as I move around. That's
a little bit.
I mean, yeah, a little bit.
I don't know.
Anyway,
like I'm used to console shooters just because I got used to Red Faction back in the day.
Oh yeah, Red Faction was awesome.
That was my first dive into a fucking first-person shooter on console, and for the first 5 hours, I fucking hated it. I thought it was the worst piece of shit ever. And then I got used to it, and I was like, man, fucking Red Faction's the shit, man. I don't know why I fucking hated first-person shooters on console before this. This is amazing. And then, I don't know, it just grew my love for first-person shooters on console from there. But, I don't know. Yeah, I'm done talking about Destiny. Destiny was a letdown, so let's move on to something else. So,
we can skip that, I think.
Back with a couple years ago, back in 2013, Microsoft paid a YouTube network. I can't remember exactly who it was.
Machinima, wasn't it?
Yeah, it paid Machinima to do some exclusive deal for them where any of their subscribers that were making positive, and this is the key point, positive reinforcement videos towards the Xbox One would get a higher pay on YouTube than any of the other videos that they would make. Now, I think per click, it's basically cents per click on a video. Microsoft was paying Machinima and these YouTubers basically $3 and something cents per click. So it was a super high fucking number for a YouTuber. And one YouTuber made $30,000 just off of one video, and another made $15,000. And the main point is you had to make a positive video about the Xbox, and you had to sign an NDA saying that you would not talk about this deal. Otherwise, if you talked about the deal, you would then lose your partnership with Machinima and so on and so forth. Now, the FTC got a hold of this, and now the FTC, after these couple of years, have finally come out and said, hey, this is bad, and we're going to put some rules in place saying that you can no longer sponsor a company like this if you're not going to say that you were sponsored by said company. Because there was that kicked up a lot of shit back then. It did Xbox a lot of good, but, what are you guys' thoughts?
I agree. This goes back to when you talked about being sponsored or being supported by you mentioned Logitech. You're partnered with Logitech. You get if you do a review about Logitech, you will clarify, I am partnered with them, but you don't really get any money for it. You get the benefit of being able to buy things at a very good discount.
Yeah.
And so you would disclose that. It's on the same level. So I think that this is, I agree with this wholeheartedly. I think it's bullshit.
People got to do that shit with reviews too. It's like, if you're in bed with the fucking people that made the game, let people know before you release the review that's 10 out of 10 about the fucking game.
Will. I'll let them know I was in bed with them, and you can have my sloppy seconds if you want to. But damn it, I will let them know. I was in bed with the man, and I don't give a shit. You know what? There was lube there. I was drunk. I didn't care. I think I cut Phyrus off though. He's got that I got cut off look.
on his face.
All right. Okay.
Gaz was in bed with Bungie, and it only took him 50 seconds.
Hey, that's better than 15. That's like a record for me, man. I don't even remember that night.
He was efficient. This all goes back to the importance of disclosure on the internet. Like we've said before, I don't know if I posted this. It was been internal chat, I think, this week, and we were discussing this. You know, a lot of us are Sony fanboys here on the Heroes Hideout.
You don't say.
And if you've listened to us more than 1 or 2 episodes, you kind of realize that. But in full disclosure, none of us, to my knowledge, have received shit from Sony.
No.
That'd be great if they did, though.
If and when
I'd be okay with that.
As much as as many products as I own from Sony, I should get some kind of support. I got all of my fucking TVs that I've ever owned myself, all fucking Sonys, and all of them except for one. Now, actually, if you include tax on one of them, all of them were like $2,000 or more. I mean, they were expensive fucking TVs. I buy Sony shit any chance I fucking get. I am a Sony. I'm not a fanboy
make
necessarily.
good products, man.
Exactly. They make good products. Actually, it is sort of side rant, but Sony makes some of the best cameras in the world. One of the best cameras for FPS, like 12 or 13 frames per second, $600.
And they put some of the best fucking cameras into their phones too. Holy shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's good. Even my
shit.
phone that's like 3 fucking years old, I still got like a 20 megapixel camera in this shit, and it's fucking awesome.
Phyrus hates me again. I'm sorry. I'm gonna.
Disclosure. It's very important, and actually, I'm taking a course right now as part of my computer science degree in communication in a computerized world. And there was a ranking of trust, because with any kind of communication, trust is definitely one of the highest things. If you don't trust who you're talking to, you won't share. You won't take them for what they're saying as truth, and it's useless communication. And it was interesting talking to classmates about the rankings of trust, where I put disclosure or self-involvement in the conversation is like number 1 or number 2 on this rank of 10 different trust values. And I'm looking through the other people, and some of them they ranked it so low, and I'm like, is this because they don't realize that people can be extremely biased on the internet, or is this just because they don't care that people are biased on the internet? But that's a whole other discussion altogether.
Honestly, I think it's just that people don't care. People go into videos with automatic assumptions about whatever the product is. So if they go into a video and they already have a bias themselves while watching the video,
which everybody does to some extent.
Yeah, everybody does to some extent. If they go into a video talking about the pros of the Xbox, and they're already an Xbox fan, of course they're going to be like, I agree with every single one of these topics because it's an Xbox and I love Xbox. Or same thing with Sony and the PlayStation and so on and so forth. And it's also the same when the role reversal is switched. So let's say an Xbox fan goes into a video talking about the pros of a Sony product, or vice versa. The person is automatically going to have it in their head, I don't really care if I trust this person or not. It's a product that I don't care about, and they go into it with a bias already, So disclosure or not, people just don't care. They already know what they want and what they don't like and what they do like. They want reinforcement in their opinion, if anything. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, people definitely, they listen to what they're looking for. I mean, that's why certain people will only watch Fox News and certain people will only watch MSNBC because they don't want to hear what anyone else is listening to. They don't want to hear what someone else's version of their truth is, and it's 100% the truth. Well, I can't say 100% the truth.
Not 100%, but
you kept it 100. You kept it 100.
There are people that listen to more than one news outlet because they don't trust anything that they hear, so they want to hear what everyone has to say and then realize that the truth lies somewhere in the middle, which I think is a valid way of going about getting your news. But a lot of people will only listen to one side of the story, and they only believe one side of the story, and that's, and just because they'll say that they're fair and balanced doesn't mean that they're fair and balanced. But if you listen to that logo enough, you believe it, and that's all well and good, and they've hooked a customer. But on the internet, because I subscribe to a few Machinima people, and their content is pretty good for the most part. But I didn't know that. If you didn't know that some of these videos were being promoted by Microsoft behind the scenes, because Machinima didn't take the time to announce that they were being paid extra by Xbox.
They fall and lock that shit behind an NDA, so.
Right. I mean, it's very shady.
I mean, one of the things that kind of annoys me about this too, and I don't mean to cut you off, but one of the things that kind of annoys me about this is, like, Microsoft got off scot-free on this. They're not being brought into the lawsuit. It's full on being blamed on Machinima. Machinima is the one that's taking the brunt of this. Now, the thing about it is, Microsoft obviously put the money forward, and I'm pretty sure they were also, in part, due to the NDA that was brought up by Machinima. So why is Machinima being blamed solely, and the other company that had a very large hand in this, in fact they were the ones giving the money, are not being
So you think Microsoft
blamed?
should be punished because they paid somebody to do a job and then they did it wrong?
I don't think that it's Microsoft's fault that Machinima didn't disclose things. I mean, I understand what you're saying with the NDA.
Well,
I totally get what you're saying.
It all really depends on, like, what happened during the internal talking between Microsoft and Machinima. Machinima hasn't done this in the past for other people, so I don't see why this NDA was specifically made for promoting the Xbox and not other products that they've done in the past.
Well, I think I kind of agree with that. I know that there have been streamers that are YouTubers, as an example, that are part of Machinima that were taken into what was it? Battlefield Hardline. That they were taken to the studios there for a beta that they couldn't release yet, and then when they did release it before the actual beta was live or some shit or whatever, they specifically said, hey, we're
Full disclosure, we went and,
Yeah, we did this, but they, in their contract, it specifically didn't say that they you could say whatever the fuck you want to say. You just have to let us, just have to say whatever. So they did that. So yeah, I would agree with that. It's kind of different. It's kind of awkward. I think that Microsoft put that NDA out there with the intention of doing something shady.
I wouldn't even say it's just on Microsoft. I think that this also goes to Machinima, but
well, yeah,
it takes two to tango, motherfuckers. So I think it's both of their fault. I don't think it's just Machinima, and I don't think it's just Microsoft. Both of them were okay with this contract when this contract was signed up. And
I think
one
that
person
it would
is
be
being
more
blamed.
Machinima's fault because of journalistic integrity, though.
But
they're the ones that are in
they're
charge
not
of that.
journalists, though. It's a fucking YouTube network.
That's what it is.
The way I see if Microsoft didn't specifically state in their contract, which I'm sure that they would have to present it in the first place during the case.
That?
What's what?
Is that a cat?
God damn it!
That monster behind you.
Get down. For those of you listening, my cat was sneaking onto my desk in the background. But unless it was stated specifically in Microsoft's contract with Machinima that they are not to or say that it was paid for by them and whatnot, I don't see Microsoft shouldn't have to get in trouble for it if they weren't specifically saying that. They didn't tell them you must do it this way. I don't know that for a fact.
I'm looking at the actual the document here, and it says the agreement included a confidentiality provision requiring the influencer, the video maker, to, quote, keep confidential at all times all matters relating to this agreement. So
they knew about it, but
so they couldn't talk about the agreement. The video makers couldn't talk about the agreement that their network, Machinima, has with Microsoft, because these were all pre-Xbox One release videos. So they had access to all these games in the Xbox, the consoles, before they were even released. So I mean that's really fucking shady.
Yeah.
I know what you're saying, but I think that the hammer falls on Machinima because they're the ones who committed it. I mean, sure, Microsoft. Even if Microsoft wrote up this agreement,
that's kind of like saying hold on, wait. I just want to say, let's say I pay you to kill my wife, but you can't tell anybody. So does that fall on you if you kill my wife, but I get off scot-free?
How many times do people interrupt you and you just go like, "Nope, fuck you"?
He usually tells me to shut up. Whenever
I'm not going to answer that. Anyway, I feel like they get more of the blame because they're the people that actually followed through on it, and they were the ones making the material, doing this marketing. They should have not agreed to the agreement. Yeah, it was shady for Microsoft, even if they wrote it up to be like, even put it on the table, but they're not the ones who did the deed.
They're not saying, you have to take this, we have a gun to your head.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Accessory to murder, but they didn't do the murder. They can be accessory, they could even
but still, like, that comes up to my question then. Let's say I paid you to kill my wife. And I told you, don't tell anybody, but here's some money, go kill my wife. And, you got caught killing my wife, and you get charged for it, and I get off scot-free. Is that okay?
Do you think, honestly, that is an accurate parallel?
Yeah, that murder equates to
I don't.
By the way, anyone who's listening to this, that was not an offer to kill his wife.
No, I love my wife. I love my kids. Please. Yeah.
His wife is a very cute individual. She's got a very bubbly personality. She's an awesome person, as far as I'm concerned.
So that's how you'll find her.
We're gonna leave her alone. We're gonna leave her out of this.
Yeah.
But I kind of agree that being who they are and what they do, Machinima, they should know, they should kind of know these kinds of laws, or
well, it's not Microsoft's
that it's a risk
either.
Microsoft I know, but the way it is Microsoft didn't say you have to do this.
See, now the thing of it is, I've got no problem with them making these videos. I've got no problem with Microsoft giving these content creators early access to the games and the consoles to make videos to promote the Xbox. Granted, you had to look forward. You had to promote Microsoft in a favorable light. That was part of the agreement. You couldn't say, "Well, here's Rise. It's one of the new launch titles. It's like God of War, but not as good." You couldn't say that because it wouldn't be showing Microsoft in a favorable light. Now, I wouldn't have a problem with them offering the ability to make these videos, giving them the copyright go-ahead to make these videos before time, as long as there was a Xbox One approved watermark right on the video.
Like most commercials, it'll have some sort of fine print or something at the end, paid for in name of this, or some sort of icon.
Exactly.
See, I would have expected them to put something like that.
And because that was forbidden due to this agreement, that's why I think Microsoft is
almost put them in a trap.
Well, they weren't put in a trap. I think they should be held accountable for this, because that's, it's somewhat false advertising, even though it's not advertising. It is advertising. It's not promoted as advertising.
I think Machinima should be able to go after Microsoft for it. However, I view that as a different case.
Yeah, I mean, it's two separate cases. But we've talked about this before as far as video game reviews go and kickbacks and everything like that. And this falls in the same barrel as that. It's shady. It's underhanded. That's why I fucking hate Microsoft.
Dicks.
Dicks. All the dicks.
All the dicks.
Speaking of dicks, let's move on to the next topic. So, you guys remember the release of Batman Arkham Knight and how it fucking fell flat on its face.
How it was dicks. I get it.
Yeah, I get it. It was tie-in.
Salty dicks.
It was good. It was good. So Warner Brothers has finally released a patch for Batman Arkham Knight to fix the frame rate issues and everything that just made the game terrible for PC. The thing is, you still can't buy the game. You still can't buy the game on like Steam or anything like that. And this is 3 months after they initially took it down. What are your guys' thoughts?
I'm sorry, your door has already closed. They missed their opportunity to win back their players.
I was supposed to get a free one for buying a certain graphics card. That was by a company by the name of, I don't know, let's just be blunt, NVIDIA, and I didn't get it. So Did
they replace it with a different game?
No, actually, I didn't get any of it. It said while supplies lasted, I think. So, with that in mind, they could do or say whatever the fuck they want to do.
Did you contact NVIDIA at all? Because
I'm
usually
sure they would replace it with something.
Not yet.
They changed it out for something else. Actually,
not yet.
what
NVIDIA
was doing was if you went to go buy Arkham Knight, you got a pre-order for the Phantom Pain paid for instead.
Really?
Yeah. So
I still want Arkham Knight though.
Phantom Pain is fucking amazing. It is a million times better than Batman. Suck it.
I need to talk to one of the two parties. I bought a laptop from a certain company, and but NVIDIA is still doing the promotion, so maybe I need to just contact NVIDIA. So yeah, I haven't contacted anybody about it yet. No, I'm gonna be honest about it, but it's just wasn't.
Well, then instead of blaming other people, why don't you just blame yourself?
I wasn't blaming anybody.
You were. The way that you were saying that, it sounded like you were blaming NVIDIA when the fault falls on you.
I was just saying I didn't get it. Did get it. It was just...
You fucked up, Norgoz.
You fucked up. Drink your drink faster.
I will.
Drown your sorrows in beer.
I've done that a lot recently. Fuck you. You heard my story from earlier. I lost the love of my life at the same game that I met the love of my life in. I hate all of you.
Wait, hold on. Are you dating her again? Like, what? You were off and on again? What's going on?
Let's not get into that.
We'll
get into that later.
Okay.
As far as this goes, I think it's good that they rushed this. Wait, let me back up.
Rushed.
Back up.
Like Limbo?
When this whole thing happened, they were expecting this patch to arrive by Halloween or before Christmas. The fact that we got it here in the middle of September is a good sign that they actually put some effort into fixing this game that should have been fixed in the first place.
I still think that they totally missed their chance to redeem themselves on it. The fact that they made their players wait, they were planning on making their players wait even longer for that patch to make it playable, is unacceptable. It's the idea nowadays is we'll just give you a broken game, we'll fix it later, no big deal, thanks for your money, we're gonna invest it for 3 months and then we'll get back to you, thanks.
Yeah, I mean it's obviously not the best plan, not the best marketing plan to ship broken games.
No, it totally worked for Final Fantasy.
People are having... people are trying very hard not to release broken games ever since the whole fucking Steam Steam thing. Or Steam refund thing. Actually, you want to know what the funny part about the whole Steam refund thing is? There are games that are now going up that that have trophies and stuff like that, or give you further information into how to progress in a game and whatnot after the 2-hour mark, so you can't get your refund.
Wait. Be more just a little more specific. You don't have to name a game, but what do you mean exactly when you say that? It doesn't make sense the way you said it.
There is a game that was up on Steam, but it's not up on Steam anymore, and this is just the specific one that I know. I'm sure others are doing this as well. But there was a game up on Steam where it promotes itself as a super hard fucking game, kind of like Dark Souls or something, where it's really hard to progress, and to beat a level, it takes a lot of like insane time to do so. Now, even though the released game says that they have like level 1 through 8 or something like that, if you look into the system files of that game, it has level 1, and then level 1 is copied and pasted for level 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, because they're the same exact fucking size, just with a name change on them, so that it looks like it's a full released game, but it's not. It's basically just a demo. And the developer came out and said that, okay, well, it is really, really hard because that's the nature of the game, but there's going to be a hint for you, an achievement that you unlock once you get to level, or once you get that achievement. And the achievement that the guy is talking about only happens after you hit the 2-hour mark in the game. And it was designed specifically so that you were no longer able to get your refund for it after you hit that 2-hour mark.
That's so fucked up.
And that's why the game was removed from Steam, was because they were doing a lot of shady shit like that. And I don't know, I kind of see shit like that happening in the future, unfortunately, with main shit, or, just bugs not appearing until after the 2-hour mark of the game.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, the first level is fucking spot on, and the second level is just like fucking garbage polygon.
All right, guys, we gotta polish up the first 2 hours of the game, and then after that, we can just like fuck around, man.
Oh yeah. Oh, polish it. Oh.
I mean, that only flies until press gets out that you only did the first hour of your game,
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I like the Steam refund policy, but at the same time, like, it's just making people fucking super conniving.
I want to say this about the Steam policy, and I've said this before, but I know it's been a while. So, for the Steam policy, they specifically outline this in their policy that if you are asking for a refund for a game because it's about to go on a Steam sale, they do not consider that abuse, and that, I think, is a great fucking policy for Valve and Steam to have. I think it's a great fucking policy because, again, if it's going to go on sale and you just bought it and it's still within the refund time, you can have it refunded and then buy it again for like $5, $10, $15 less, whatever it is, and save some money. I think that's fucking awesome.
I'd appreciate that if you could do that for games that you bought within the past 3 years that you've never installed. Because I could probably make a whole bunch of money back at this point. But rounding back to Arkham Knight and Broken Games, recently I saw a story about a big AAA title that's coming out, and the name of that game I can't remember right now. But they said that it was releasing on consoles at this time, and the PC date is going to be 3 or 4 weeks later. And I was initially looking at that, and I was like, how do I feel about that? I mean, I should be happy that they're delaying the PC release, because that means it's not ready, right? Or is it just to give the consoles a first step as far as buy-ins? But either way, I realized that I'm totally okay with that. I shouldn't be okay with that because they should be released on all platforms at the same time. But maybe this is why, and if that's why, then I don't want them to release a broken game. So, yeah.
Everybody releases broken games nowadays. You're kidding yourself if you don't think that.
That's pretty true, to be honest. I mean,
Well, broken and unplayable are two things.
Well, I suppose so. I agree with that. So,
I don't want either.
yeah.
I want a game to work. Like, is that too much to ask?
No,
Shouldn't be.
shouldn't be.
Really shouldn't be.
You know, things nowadays, people, stuff. People do things.
I don't know. All I want is a Slave Tetris game. That's all I'm looking for.
No.
Well, you want to know what? You could have had that up until last week. There was
Speaking of,
let's move on to the next topic.
This should have been like our segue, like when Naki brought up the whole, oh, look at the slave thing, whatever the hell he said earlier, like, look,
The
slave
fucking
Tetris.
All right, Norgoz, moving on to the next topic. So, there was a game that was removed from Steam last week called Slave Tetris. And essentially what the game was you have a boat, and you have slaves that you can fit into said boat, and they are shaped like Tetris pieces, and you have to fit as many slaves into said boat as you can, and your character is a mouse.
So I was talking to Cage about this, and I'm like, I have a paragraph of notes for like every topic on this, except for the Batman thing, and Slave Tetris. I have 3 lines that says, "Who the fuck? What? Why?" And that's it. That's all I wrote because what? Oh, and can I talk about the other one real quick that we skipped over, just like really fast?
No.
Please.
No.
Please. Okay. All right. Well, they made a Fallout Monopoly game, and I looked
Go
it up,
for it.
and there's 2,814 versions of Monopoly, including a Bible Monopoly, a Cat Monopoly, Seinfeld, 5 Pokemons, 3 Nintendo, Shrek,
Pokemon or
Sonic,
Nintendo.
South Park, X-Men, and 1 for like every fucking state in the U.S.
I got the,
2,814 versions.
I got the
Okay, that's
20th
all I had to say.
anniversary one sitting over there.
Can we talk about this topic?
Slave Tetris? I'd
You
rather
really
not.
want to talk about Slave Tetris?
So this game is actually not called Slave Tetris. The game is actually called Playing History 2: The Slave Trade. This was a mini game built into Playing History 2, and it was very. I really don't know what this guy was thinking. This is so. I mean, I understand it's trying to show people playing this game, which I'm assuming are probably going to be younger people learning about history, that this is, the bad conditions on the slave boats where people were packed in as many as they could because
It's
it was
educational.
the best. It's educational in the overarching reach of showing that it was horrible on slave ships. Aside from the fact that some of these slaves almost look like they're smiling in this picture, and
They're so happy.
they've got different colored
Pants.
I guess their pants or shorts or like cloth diapers. I guess that they had like the slaves in. It looks horrible except for like the block, the square one, which the person is bent all the way backwards.
They're forming a C.
Oh, that sounds sexy as shit.
Yeah, But anyway, so after this guy got all this shit from people saying, "How can you do this? This needs to be reported and taken down," and it's disturbing. The guy that wrote it says he was quoted here. This was Engfeld Nielsen was defending slave trade. He says, "We lose money on these games," he said to one person. "We make them because we think it's important to make educational games to fight ignorance." In another tweet, he defended the minigame, specifically saying, Slave ships were stacked as Tetris. Point is to disgust people so they understand how inhumane slave trade was. And so, listening to those quotes, it sounds like he gets it. It sounds like he was doing it not to be offensive, to show, like I was saying, that it was horrible. They were trying to pack people in these things as much as they could, and this was a educational tool to show kids that this was. I mean, Tetris is economy. You know, it's trying to get as many pieces in the smallest amount of space. So I can understand how he tried to bring those two things together, but the visual aspect of this was it's jarring.
No, the real goal was, here, boys and girls, don't you think that this is really interesting, fitting as many slaves into a boat as you can? Let's all become slave traders.
This is where you need to sound like Krusty the Clown.
I'm curious of the number of people that actually tried to download it or did download it on Steam before.
Well,
I'm curious as to.
You can still get this game. It just doesn't have the Slave Tetris minigame in the game anymore.
Oh, got it. Less interested.
Yeah, but
Can I just buy that part of the game?
no. But
Get
you
out of
can,
here, you
can
racist.
download Sex Tetris, which is kind of the same
Ooh.
thing.
Wait. Let's talk about Sex Tetris.
Just
Fuck
play
Slave
Honey Pop.
Tetris.
Link it.
Honey Pop.
It's
Link it.
It's like Slave Tetris, except for they're not all Africans, and there's no boat,
Whoa.
and there's probably people of various levels of undress, and they make funny sounds when you stack them.
Link it.
That
Link
sounds
it.
Great.
Give
Yes,
it to
link
me.
it.
Oh, was that you, Norgoz?
What?
Is that you?
That was me.
That was pretty good.
Thanks.
This is not a game that I currently play, but this
No,
is
like,
a
I was
game
impressed.
He found all the secret bonus levels, we'll say. He finished everything, and then he finished.
Oh,
And
yeah.
he's completely
Sure,
done
Google.
with the game.
Here's what's
Find
good, Cage.
5 different versions. Here, let's Google, and we'll see. Sex Tetris.
I'm fearful of what you're going to come up with.
I know, right?
There's a YouTube gameplay
Yeah,
app.
that is a-
There's mobile games. So I'm sure this is on all sorts of different not safe for work. So we're not going to click on that one right now. But yes, there's different Android games and probably iOS versions.
Android? Okay.
Yes.
All right.
You may not find it on the Play Store. And you may have to download it as an APK, but it exists. Yeah.
Just let it happen.
Let it go. Just let it happen.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway. So, yes, there have been different versions of Tetris. This was just probably not the best thing to do in 2015. He may have gotten away with something like this. I don't know.
Oh.
In the 60s.
Oh, yeah.
Did you find it?
What would you be?
He's playing it right now.
On in the 60s.
He's like, look, well, the dick and the wait. We got the dick and the balls right here. We got the dick and the balls.
Okay,
It's
now
right
it sounds like
here.
we're talking about Mount Your Friends. Figuring out.
That's true. We got no. Mount Your Friends is more like this. Got the dick and the balls goes like this.
There's all
Shitty
kinds of
room.
mounting going on in this game. I'm going to tell you right now. Holy shit. Woo! Whew! Man, I need to play this game.
Oh my god! I just almost broke my second leg. That's great.
Hot
Moving on.
damn. All right, moving on to the next topic.
So we
Next guy.
lost Tim to Clicker Games last week. The game before that was the Fallout Shelter. So now this week he's going to be stuck playing Sex Tetris at work all week.
Yep, that's
hear
going to be
about it
my
next
life for the next
Get
week.
an update.
All right, moving on to the
Moving
next topic. So there's a new Xbox One that is coming about. This new Xbox One is an Elite Bundle. It comes with a Xbox One with a 1 terabyte hybrid drive, and that's a SSHD, so it's a solid state hybrid HD drive.
That's what I have in my.
Yeah, I have one of those in my computer too. I have the terabyte. So, and then it also comes with their $250 controller. So that's why it is the Elite bundle. I'm not gonna lie though, if you are looking into getting an Xbox One and you think that controller is sexy as shit, then just get the Elite bundle because you're getting a terabyte hard drive.
What's so special about this controller?
It's $250. That's what's so special.
You can adjust the sensitivity on the analogs, and you can adjust the distance on the triggers.
And you can reassign the buttons.
And it also has two buttons on the back that you can push with your ring finger and your middle finger.
Okay, guys, like real talk right now. If one more person calls some shit the ultimate gaming experience, I'm gonna flip my fucking shit. Everybody uses that. Everybody says ultimate gaming experience. MSI, Intel, Xbox, PlayStation, Android, gaming websites, gaming conventions, gaming chairs, headsets. Fucking stop! Stop! It's a solid state hard drive and adjustable values on triggers of sensitivities. Calm the fuck down. You're acting like I'm gonna boot my Xbox up, and it's gonna boot up 20% faster from energy save, not even from a cold boot, and I'm gonna go, holy fucking shit. This is the best gaming experience I have ever had. It is the ultimate one. I pressed the button and it started up at a moderately faster rate than it normally would, and now I can't play any other fucking games. The startup blew my fucking mind. I can't do it. It's the ultimate gaming experience. Fuck you.
This week's Angry Rant. Damien's Angry Rant brought to you by Xbox.
The ultimate gaming experience.
God damn it.
The ultimate.
This could be Damien's new weekly bit, random fact. And,
no, Monopoly, man.
His hate rant.
13 Monopolies a year since 1902. That is fucking crazy. Sorry.
Actually, no. Dude, this controller actually looks pretty cool. It's like white and black and gold. I actually kind of like it. I might have to buy it just to have the controller. I think it's the ultimate gaming experience.
It would look just as good for the ultimate gaming experience.
Do you know how many times I've seen the ultimate gaming experience on something? It is too many damn times.
Let me find my last headset box. I bet I could find the ultimate gaming experience on it.
Oh, wait, no, I lied.
Bet it's on
the controller is 150. Son of a bitch.
Oh, that's a little more acceptable. Not?
Yeah.
No.
It's still 3 times the price of a normal controller.
Complete side note here. Shouldn't we, as a standard, and I think Sony could take from this because Sony likes to shove cake in Xbox and Microsoft's face, they could take something from this. Shouldn't we be able to adjust the sensitivity on our controllers by default?
Yeah, that'd be cool. Do you think that this advanced controller is going to come with the Oculus?
I think that it's going to come with a lot of ultimate gaming experiences.
Because they bundle it with the Oculus for Windows? But
I think that the whole SSHD thing, sort of digressing to that, I can't remember if PS4s come with those by default, but
No.
I know they don't. Are you sure?
I'm sure.
I thought that they did, but either way, whether I'm right or wrong, it doesn't matter. Point being, SSHDs, while efficient, basically, for those who don't know, just very short, like you have an HD, then you have an SSD, and the SSD is usually your cache drive where it just loads shit faster from your HD because it caches stuff. This just combines the two. So, but the thing with that is that it has a shorter lifespan and it's less efficient overall. I think is what I've seen and I've heard up on research. Not less efficient. It has a higher fail rate. Not less efficient. Has a higher fail rate.
All I can tell you is I have an SSHD in my computer, and it is fucking amazing. My old hard drive can suck it. I don't even care if this thing fails in a year. So far, it is doing everything that I want it to do and more. So.
Well, it does. No, I hear the performance is amazing, but the failure rate on them is, for me, I want to be able to use my things for,
years to come. So anyway, penises.
You're a PC gamer, man. Fucking get used to spending a bunch of money upgrading shit all the goddamn time.
Dude, I had my old desktop lasted 5 years and played everything that I wanted to play. Even if I had to turn down the graphics a little bit, it played everything that I wanted it to play. And I had no problems except for on the motherboard, the actual motherboard fan for the Enforce chip or whatever went out, and it was like grinding gears. It was a pain in the ass. So, yeah, I'm like having a heart attack right now. That's amazing.
You're a CPU fan.
Not the CPU fan. No, like the.
No, you're talking about like it had a secondary chip that had its own dedicated fan.
Yeah, it was a little bitty ass. It was a little bit like this big, like this. It was a little bitty ass fan. Yeah, the Enforce chip.
All right. Speaking of PC gaming, let's move on to the next topic because we're extending the show for quite a while.
My penis, extending my penis.
Expense for not that long. This next bit of news is there's a World of Warcraft movie leak, and it's actually kind of interesting. There's leaked footage of the Warcraft movie, and they came out and they responded to it, just saying things like, "I wish I could show you the real thing," ha ha ha. Yeah. Anybody watch this? It's actually pretty cool. No.
No, I didn't watch it, but I gotta wonder how good the CG will be, and if it'll be comparable to Final Fantasy, or if just like their game, it'll be garbage. No, I'm just fucking.
Well, from what I've seen, it looks. From what I have seen, and I didn't watch the trailer. What I have seen are like little clips or video, not clips, but sorry, not videos. Clips or pictures that I've seen that were released publicly in previous like BlizzCons and stuff, and it looks cool, looks good. I think that they really did do a lot of thinking in getting like the story writers together and the actual directors and producers and stuff. They did a lot of work in getting them together, as opposed to what they did, not them, but I mean what happened with I don't know, a movie like Doom. So where they actually made an effort to get people together to make sure that the lore was proper, that it made sense, that it's going to be true to the gamers.
Doom was a great movie.
I actually enjoyed the movie. I'm
for
not going to
all
lie,
the wrong
but it did
reasons.
not at all. Yeah, for all the wrong reasons. It did not fit at all with what Doom really was. But actually, it did. In one line in the movie, it says, "This place is hell. It always was." That was the only thing that really fit, unless you count the whole like thing at the end where it's like first person shoot 'em up or whatever. That's it.
Man, I need to go back and watch that movie again.
It's a good movie. I liked it.
I hope that this Warcraft movie's good. I hope that it's well received, because I really do like seeing these video game movies, and I'd like seeing more of them done with the amount of quality as like Advent Children was, where it's like an actually good movie, and people like it who not even necessarily enjoy the game.
It's actually sad that Advent Children was poorly received.
It was, and it's sad for me too, because I thought it was a good film.
I thought so too.
That being said, I knew what was going to happen in the end, just because I happened upon a whole website that said spoilers. It talks about blah blah blah, and I was like, oh no, I just want to look at the sword that he uses or whatever, and it talked about how the sword was used in the final fight with
Dumbass.
I'll leave blank.
Dumbass.
And I'm like, fuck me. They didn't have to include that. They didn't have to say that at all, and they could have still talked about the sword.
They said spoilers. You're the one that continued to read after it said spoilers.
It's a goddamn sword.
So? It said spoiler. They got themselves covered. You're the one that kept reading.
Fuck them. Yeah, well, they shouldn't have spoiled that part. So then I'm like watching the movie, and it's like, I'm like, how does this happen? How exactly do they do this thing toward the end of the movie? And I mean, it happened, but whatever. I mean, still a good movie.
All I'm saying is that it was a good movie.
Oh, I agree.
And I hope the Warcraft movie is good. I want more good game movies.
I do too.
They got that new Dungeons and Dragons one coming out too.
Ooh, and they also have what's it called coming out? Ratchet and Clank.
Ratchet and Clank.
Really?
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Oh, you need to go watch the trailer. It looks so good. I want it. They're even remaking. Well, it's not an actual remake. It's a reimagination of the first game for it, and it more fits the storyline of the movie. I want it. I want it.
Awesome.
Oh, it looks so good.
Ratchet and Clank has always been fun. I mean, the whole dialogue that they have between the two, the camaraderie. I mean, it's interesting and it's fun and it's very funny. And I mean, I think that they could, the whole banter going back and forth, the love-hate relationship. It's a good thing. I mean, if they implement that in the movie,
if they stay true to the game story, then great. But if they break whatever's happening, I don't really know what's going on in World of Warcraft. But for most video game adaptations, if they don't,
you mean which version of World of Warcraft? Because they've changed, they've retconned that storyline so fucking hard.
Like I said, I have no idea what the hell's going on.
I think this is the original. This goes back to the original World of Warcraft / like the prelude to World of Warcraft. It talks about some war that had happened originally between the Horde and Alliance.
Wait, you mean the version of World of Warcraft that you can't play because Cataclysm removed everything before, like, that was originally in that game?
Well, It didn't remove it, it just overwrote it. It's still there. The remnants are there. The lore is still there. You just can't see the world as it was before the Cataclysm. I mean, so as far as I know, this movie is going to go over and do some of the old Doomhammer and Thrall and
good. I love Thrall. I want more of Thrall.
The old characters, and if this works well, there's lots of other storylines from the old lore that they could dig up and redo. I mean, there's so many great stories within the World of Warcraft. The Illidan story is great. The Malfurion, that story with his brother. I mean, that's a great story. There's all these great stories in the old lore that they could redo if this game hits, or if this movie hits. I'm excited to see it. I don't know if I'll see it in the theaters. I may see it by other means, but
I just want to ask one question.
Yeah.
Damien, the movie will be 90% what exact? What did you say?
Do it with your
It's
face.
gonna be 90% fetch quests.
It would accurately represent the game.
The first 20 minutes of the movie is just going to be going around and killing rats.
Boars. It's all about the boars, man.
They'll walk into a town and then just get rampaged by the opposing faction, getting raided.
There'll be a really sexy female character, and she'll be like, "Hey, baby, what's up?" You'll be like, "Oh, okay." World of Warcraft movie, got it.
Oh man, speaking of raids, back when I was playing World of Warcraft, before they came out with the Lich King expansion pack, they had a virus that went through the game, and it turned characters into ghouls, and then you can attack another character as a ghoul and then kill them, and they become a ghoul, and so on and so forth. And while you're a ghoul, when you type, anybody that is also a ghoul can read it, including Alliance if you're Horde, and vice versa. So what we did was we amassed this gigantic fucking group of ghouls, which included Horde and Alliance players, just this gigantic fucking raid of like 200 ghouls, all making up both factions, and we raided Stormwind, and then we raided fucking Orgrimmar, and then we raided Darnassus and one other place, and by the time we got to the last place, most of our people had been killed because Alliance players kept on coming in and like fucking the day up because they're a bunch of dicks. But overall, like it was a lot of fun. I highly enjoyed that back in the day. That was a blast. I wish more companies did shit like that. And I'm excited for this movie because as much as I dislike World of Warcraft now, I think that their lore is pretty fucking cool. And I've always thought that a World of Warcraft movie would be fucking awesome. So I want it.
Leroy Jenkins in it.
Huh?
They'll include a Leroy Jenkins in it.
Leroy.
Of course they will. Of course they will. They'll probably include the original. Actually, they'll have the original guy go in and re-record shit in a capacity that's acceptable with the movie. Exactly.
I think it'd be hilarious. I think it'd be hilarious in the movie if there's like some kind of giant raid, and then you see one guy go running past them, and then they all turn and look at him and go,
Leroy?
"Yeah, not this time." That'd be awesome.
That actually would be pretty.
Even
everybody go.
Even like a reference would be cool. Like somebody goes into a room that they shouldn't, and somebody else yells at him, "Leroy, get back here!" You know, something. Even just a slight reference like that, I would be happy.
Damn it, Leroy! There's no
Damn it,
chicken in
Leroy.
there.
So yeah, where'd he go? And then you hear down the hall, "At least I got my chicken."
Dude, if they do, I swear to God, if they do something like that, we need to get royalties. This whole goddamn podcast needs to get fucking royalties because that's a great fucking idea, and if they go with it, I will sue on our behalf. I will sue on our behalf. It's our.
I don't think we can sue on saying, hey, you should include somebody that made
It's our
a
idea.
spoof
It's
for
not
your
our
game.
intellectual property.
Yeah, it's not our
It's
intellectual
our
property in
idea
any
to
way.
implement it into said movie, which is
Where's
also not
Highsight?
our intellectual property. It doesn't matter. It's our fucking idea. It's our idea. This is our
Doesn't matter. I
intellectual
called
property.
dibs.
I called dibs, damn it! They
Alright.
already put it in the
Call
movie we're talking about.
Norgoz,
They
you're gonna leave this podcast and you're gonna go like implement that in some movie somewhere, and then we're gonna sue you for taking our ideas as a group and
Sure.
implementing them somewhere else.
Yeah,
Hey,
You're right,
we're
I'm
not going
gonna-
back to this. We're not going back to intellectual property stuff. For like the last
Right.
month.
Too late for tonight.
It's too late.
We're
To
going to add
Alright.
it to our list of banned subjects.
We have been
I-
going for an hour and a half. Do we want to do the end game thing, or do we want to cover the last one, or do we just want to
I
hop
think
into
we-
the game?
On
What
mine,
game
we're almost to the 2 hour mark.
Well, no. We need to at least announce the whole job opportunity thing. I think.
All right, we'll throw that one in there. Last news topic of this week is ESPN is actually hiring a gaming reporter. Ha ha ha! They're gonna be starting to cover like esports and shit like that. Remember that guy a couple months back where he said if he was ever asked to cover any gaming related stuff, he would leave, and then he left, and now we're getting a gaming reporter. ESPN is gonna be covering some gaming stuff. Exciting, right? I mean, I don't watch ESPN, so I don't give a fuck. But I mean, there are definitely some people that do. So, what are your guys' thoughts on this?
I'm excited.
I'm curious how far ESPN will actually go with it, though. Like,
That's true.
Is it actually going to be on TV, or are they just going to do their own podcast
Wrap up?
thing, their own webcast of it?
I think that it comes down to I think Cage has a good point with that. Is that are they doing it? I mean, if they're going to hire somebody, I mean, they're not just hiring a gaming reporter. They're looking for somebody who has VR and AR, who's like a VR and AR engineer. I mean, they're looking for somebody who's serious, huh?
2 different jobs.
Oh, it's 2 different jobs. No, they have a slash here. There's a slash. There's like I want either or. I think, like virtual reality / alternate reality engineer.
Well, the
says
reporter
it's-
is one job, and then
Yeah.
the VR / AR engineer is
you're
another
okay. I
job.
see yeah, mine was completely misunderstood.
I would assume that the VR thing is probably more for
Some kind
Like,
of app development.
well, maybe or having a VR like equipment on site for games or something like that, because that's kind of becoming a thing. Like you can watch SNL on VR, where you're like sitting in the crowd, and you can look around
Yeah.
the crowd and look at the stage and stuff like that. So I would not say that it's all that far off that people might want to record games in VR where you get to be there at the game to watch the game.
Wasn't this my idea from like a couple months back?
I don't know. Was
I think
Get your lawyers ready.
I think I delivered that idea.
It's about to go down.
Was it your intellectual property? Am I getting sued? Should I get my lawyer fired?
No, but these fuckers should.
My lawyer.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to go back into that, but yeah, I think it's interesting that they're considering hiring somebody to do basically Major League Gaming, probably like a rehash, because they're looking for someone who has experience with LoL, Dota, Hearthstone, COD, Counter-Strike, Go, and StarCraft 2. So they're the major competitive games.
Any of us.
That's a lot.
But what
That's a
about
lot to
Rocket
know.
League?
Rocket League's a big thing right now, and Rocket League is going to expand like a fucking wildfire.
Do you think it is, or do you think it's just going to be a fad?
I think that it's a fad right now, but I don't think it's going to burn out. Like, the fire is not too hot to survive.
I've
You
got
know
like
what I'm
3
saying?
friends on my fucking Steam friends list that are playing Rocket League right now.
Rocket League is a goddamn thing, and I don't think that it's going to stop for a long time. It could be a fad, but if it's a fad, I think it's going to last for a while. I mean, you can jump into the game. I mean, as an example, we could even make this a topic if we wanted to, but Jimmy Fallon, Markiplier, and Miss May got together. Phyrus knows what I'm talking about, obviously. Got together to do a little video about Rocket League. And Jimmy was obviously horrible at Rocket League. And Markiplier made it apparent. He's like, no, I think I could totally like do pretty good. He's like, Markiplier, no, not at all. You totally could not do this. But Jimmy had made a comment on his show, on the late night show, where he is he was making fun of or poking fun at like YouTubers or something
gaming.
like that.
It was during the YouTube gaming launch. And he made a couple jokes about it on the show. He's like, this is kind of ridiculous that people are watching people play video games. This is retarded. I mean, this.
You want to know what's even more ridiculous? People are watching us talk about playing video games, or people are watching us talk about people that are talking about playing video games.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what his little skit was about. It was like, the next generation of Twitch is watching somebody play a video game, and they're like, and then you've got the watching
that
somebody
actually exists already.
someone else is watching something, and it was the whole Inception backwards thing. But
It's a good joke.
He's got like thousands of video clips on his website or on his YouTube channel, and this one had like 80,000 downvotes on it. So people weren't happy with him. So then he made a response the next episode of his show, bringing up some of the responses in the YouTube comments, and then he's made fun of those people too. So that's why Markiplier was invited to go on to try to explain to him the whole Twitch experience.
Or it was a fucking conspiracy from the beginning.
Well, it could have.
I don't think so.
Miss May made one of the comments on his videos too, and she said hers was very slightly neutral, but it said simply something like, well, I understand where you're coming from, but why make fun of this kind of thing? And he brought it up and like showed a little like highlight from like a little screenshot from what she said, and he like looked at her and he's like. She's like, it's coincidental. Isn't that your? It's like, yeah, that's totally my handle. But it was a good thing for both of those YouTube channels, though. Miss May and Markiplier both benefited a lot from this because not only did they get to go to the show and they showed like a clip of them in the actual seats that they were in.
Jimmy Fallon also got a lot from it too, as well, because Markiplier is one of the biggest goddamn YouTubers, and he's huge with kids, so that means that a lot of fucking kids were watching Jimmy Fallon. So,
well, just
so he was
not a
able
lot
to
of kids watching
expose
Jimmy
himself
Fallon at 11 o'clock at night. Just saying.
Well, YouTube. They watch it on YouTube. They put all their shit on YouTube up like the night of the show after the show's over. So they watch that shit for sure. Absolutely. Dicks in a box. You know what I'm saying?
Dicks in a box. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I'm an ass.
So,
and I love all of you. That's okay.
So ESPN, I think they're trying to grab a portion of the viewing public that they don't have right now, which is gamers. I think they really need to focus on Madden the Gathering, and they could probably do a show on that, and they could get a crossover audience. But yeah, I mean, good for them. Looking forward. I'm still not going to watch ESPN because I just don't watch ESPN. They've got nothing, and they hate hockey, so fuck them. So yeah, that's about all I have to say about that.
It's going to be crazy the day that they start accepting video games as a sport, and they still are just like, fuck hockey.
Yeah.
That's going to be funny as shit. It really is. It's going to be funny. Yeah, I know a lot of Canadians, and I know a lot of hockey players within the U.S., and it's going to be amusing because I'm going to have to deal with all the bullshit discussions of like, well, so if you get to you know what? No, I don't want to hear it. Look, you get to watch ESPN because you're a gamer. And I don't know whose dick they sucked, but gaming is apparently a thing. And hockey has been in the mix for thousands of years, and now it's they still don't give a fuck about it. Like
back in my day,
why?
Jesus played on a fucking frozen lake.
Well, I guess there's a silver lining. You have to look very very hard for it though. They may have a NHL 16 playoff championship that's hosted on ESPN. So you might actually get to watch hockey. It'll be a video game hockey, but you may actually see it on ESPN.
This is a good twist. I like this.
How much do you want to bet that ESPN's tagline for their gaming thing will be the ultimate gaming experience?
Oh!
Maybe.
I will fucking cut somebody if it comes to that.
Anyway, I'm done.
Just accept it. Just accept it.
Everything's the ultimate
Just let it
gaming
happen.
experience.
This
It's like premium or artisan. It's like the word premium or the word artisan. It don't mean shit.
It used to be robust. Robust was the word. You would apply the word robust to coffee, to applications,
Cigarettes.
Your shirt. Your cigarette had a robust flavor to it.
Robust flavor, yes.
Back when I was doing advertising, we still applied that to cigarettes. Robust is the way to go, man.
Look at the 2015 Pathfinder with its robust upholstery. Robust was the word that was applied to every product across the spectrum.
Ugh.
Look at our Dawn dish soap. It offers robust, grease cutting capabilities. It's just, so.
Buy our premium robust artisan game controller and have the
It'll
ultimate
provide
gaming experience.
ultimate gaming experience. Yes.
Okay.
Anyway.
Do we want to play our little game, or do we want to hop it right into a game?
Well, I think I'm going to tap out because my head is exploding right now.
Yeah. I wouldn't blame you.
We're past our 2-hour mark.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm trying to think. Well, I know that our little question of the week game show thing that we do now takes a little bit of time, so I kind of don't want to power through that unless you guys want to.
I think we're good passing this week.
All right,
What
we're gonna
happened
take a
to
pass
guys in
this
60
week.
seconds?
No. Shh.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah,
Oh
don't-
shit, sorry.
don't
I'm
tell
sorry,
him.
I forgot.
Don't
It's
tell
the
him.
ultimate gaming experience, but we don't want it to happen.
Yeah.
You heard it.
Let's move
You
on.
heard the call.
Listen, it's not the ultimate gaming experience, so we're not going to ruin the ultimate gaming experience. We're gonna move on and do whatever the fuck we want to do to fucking end this goddamn show. Suck on my ball. I'm sorry. I gotta look carried away.
You gotta pull them out for me to do that, guys.
I will do
And you
that
still haven't
another
done it.
time.
You've been trying forever.
We're live.
Okay, so wait a minute. So hang on a second. So which one of these topics did we not go through? I had to close this. I closed that.
See, guys,
Oh,
ready.
this is bullshit.
13 monopolies a year, guys.
I don't even know what we even did this show.
Since 1902.
Did we even talk? We did talk about. God damn it, Damien, you did talk. Let me bring it to the.
I don't understand how nobody else is fascinated by that.
Oh,
We covered
I should've made
everything,
notes.
guys. We covered everything.
I should have made notes of this stuff. This is gonna be the worst Gods in 60 seconds ever.
Or we can just skip it. Thank you guys for joining the Heroes Hideout Gaming Podcast this week. We love you. Thank you for coming. Don't forget to catch us on Stitcher and iTunes. Goodbye.
What a hater.